Ernie's going to go with case at 12 in San Antonio. The question for the sheriff. The code red alert system has come under a lot of scrutiny in recent days, and now there's reports of a timeline on Friday morning where an Ingram volunteer fire department commander asked a Kerr County Sheriff dispatcher for the code red to be issued. The dispatcher says, I can't, I have to get a supervisor's approval for that. Almost 6 hours passes until 10 o'clock, when 10:04, when the code red is issued. How do you account for that lapse of time? What happened and what could have happened at that time?
Okay. As I've said earlier, with every significant event, we're going, with every emergency, we're going to have to, there's going to be an after action. Please, y'all, listen to those words, after action, okay? Those questions are going to be answered. I believe those questions need to be answered to the family of the missed loved ones, to the public, to the people that put me in this office. Those need to be, and I want that answer, and we're going to get that answer. And I know that's going to be asked over and over. Please understand that. We're not running. We're not going to hide from everything. That's going to be checked into at a later time. I wish I could tell you that time. I don't know that time. Let me share something with y'all. One of the main things I've been doing is going and visiting the family. We still have some of those missed loved ones here. I go visit them twice a day. As a sheriff, what I want is I want closure for those people. Okay, and those are important questions. We will answer those questions. I wish y'all would bear with me in that. Okay, bear with me. We'll get them. I can't tell you in a week or two. Okay, we're going to get them. I'm not trying to deflect them. Okay, my primary. I asked you. I've been in this business 36 years. I don't know if any of y'all, how many of y'all have gave notifications, death notifications. I've done them. What is worse, a death notification or telling somebody I don't know where your loved one was? That's my priority. Okay, now please understand that.
Sir, Sergeant Lamb. Sergeant Lamb. Sergeant Lamb.
Tammy from the Hill Country Community Journal.
Yes, we talked a lot about the recovery effort, and it's amazing, but I wonder what we can tell the displaced families. Where do they go? How do they get in touch with FEMA? I think there's a lot of that, and we haven't had a chance to discuss it.
Right, so unfortunately I don't have the FEMA number. I know there is a FEMA hotline specifically for this, and I don't have it at my fingertips, and I apologize for that. We are pushing out the recovery information through our social media post. The First United Methodist Church, 321 Thompson Drive, is still the shelter operation for displaced persons through this disaster. They are fully equipped and still accepting folks.
Sergeant Lamb.
Yes, sir. Louis Amastor from the Kerr County League.
Yeah. Sergeant Lamb, yesterday the governor's office said there was 161 missing. Is that a Kerr County number, or is that a roll-up number? Where are we at with the number of missing?
It's my understanding that the number that the governor referred to was a Kerr County number, and again, I have no reason to doubt that number, and it was compiled from the best available information. But we are asking folks to make sure that the numbers that we have are accurate. So if somebody has been reported missing and they have now been accounted for, please let us know that so we can revise those numbers and make sure that they continue to be accurate. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Juanita, with Telemundo NBC. Yesterday, Governor Abbott said that 2 days prior to the disaster, he had provided resources, and they were here on ground. I know this is a question for you or for the mayor, but he said you guys were prepared, that you had those essentials. What happened? Did you guys have those resources?
Yeah, listen, I'm going to just say what has already been said. At the appropriate time, all of that is going to be reviewed and checked into. I don't have the answer to that question right now. I don't have that information. And rather than speculate, it would be irresponsible for me to do that. So,
could you speak on that?
Repeat the question, please.
Yesterday, Governor Greg Abbott said 2 days prior to the disaster, he had provided the town with more than enough resources to respond to the disaster. Were those resources here? Locals told us they didn't see any resources. They didn't see anyone until hours after the disaster.
Thank you.
What resources did you guys have, and why wasn't there any response?
Okay. I didn't see the governor's remarks. I haven't seen the governor's remarks. Last night we had a city council meeting, and I was required to be there. And so I can't, I'm sorry, I don't know what resources TDM had in place. at that time. I know when I arrived at the Emergency Operations Center on the morning of July 4th, there were TDM personnel there. But what assets they were able to use that morning, I'm sorry, I do not know.
Mr. Mayor,
Listen, people are yelling, and I didn't really want y'all to.
If you offer only 3 questions, then you're going to have to.
And guess what? You're in Kerrville, and we're going to do it my way.
I understand that.
Morgan Chesky, please.
Mr. Mayor, records show that the concept of flood warnings have been discussed at least 24 times by the county. What's the biggest reason that these systems have not gone into place at this point?
You know, Morgan, you and I grew up here. And I wasn't in office during those discussions. And frankly, I'm more focused on the future than the past, as you know. What I can say is the governor, the lieutenant governor, the Speaker of the Texas House have all provided us support, and they have all said this is a priority for the upcoming special legislative session. As mayor of Kerrville, as someone who grew up here, I am grateful for their support, and I look forward to what they propose during the special session. My last question will be you.
Thank you, sir. Shimon Prokomis from CNET. The lieutenant governor said that on July 3rd that the county judges and city mayors were invited on a daily call Thursday to discuss weather forecasts. Were you on that call? Were you invited to that call? And do you know if the county judge was also on that?
I can't speak for the county judge. That would be hearsay. And I'm not going to contradict the information you have. But I will tell you, personally, I did not receive a telephone call.
You weren't invited to the call?
I did not receive a telephone call.
And you were never given any information about what assets were brought into the area? Yes, sir.
So I wasn't invited to the call. I'm not trying to deflect,
No,
but I don't.
Do you know why any idea why that would happen?
Maybe I'm not a local mayor. I can't tell.
No.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Please. From Mexico,
All right, folks, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the decorum that was shown this morning. So, as y'all are aware, gentlemen,
Sheriff, you still have people counting on you.
just do me a favor. I'm not quite finished yet. All right.